10 is a beautiful number. 10 is a beautiful number. 10 is a beautiful number. What day is it today? Good afternoon, and welcome to the garden. Welcome to Garden Conversations with Rose. Today is June the 10th. Today is a day of Thanksgiving. Today is a day of latter rain favor. Today is the day. Today is my birthday. Welcome to Garden Conversations with Rose. We have reached 60 plus 1. Today is my 61st birthday. And I am so proud. I am excited. I am super blessed. I'm appreciative that God has allowed me one more year to be the land of the living. I would have told you all along that today I will have an extra bit for you for today, the day of my birth. We've been talking all along about her story, her lesson, and of course, her message. I'm ready to give you those few tidbits, those few nuggets that would have marked the time I would have been on this earth for 60 years, and of course, for this day today, which marks the start of my 61st year on earth. So, the very first thing I want to start with is that it is important. But to start with this one, it's important that we give God the preeminence in our lives. I know we are human. We fall, we fail, we err, we walk around, we stray, we turn our backs, but it's important to give Him the preeminence. It's important for us to know that the carpet of grace, that red carpet of grace, is forever rolled out. And what is interesting is that it isn't like those red carpets that are reserved for royalty or for persons of a particular creed or breed or social standing or status or economic value. It is for everyone, all and sundry are able to walk and strut on the carpet of grace that God has rolled out for all of us. Let us access His grace. It's always available. And of course, secondly, I need us to think about our children. We need to give our children some form of stability, whether it be in the home, whether at church or at school. Our children need some stability. We need to provide them with some positive learning experiences. We need to allow them to ensure that they have a strong spiritual base so that when their little hearts are bleeding and their little hearts are in pain, there will be something they can fall on. And even peradventure, when they grow older and they would have stepped away, like I would have done for some time, the grounding they would have received, the memory verses, the promises, the precepts that were earlier taught would come back to them, would lead them back onto that red carpet of grace that I earlier talked about. So that's for number two. The third thing I need to impart to you is that we always must ensure that we have our sense of worth, our sense of value intact, and understand that irrespective of what others say, people's words and their actions simply cannot, and will not ever determine our sense of worth or our sense of value. Their words cannot do that. We only allow them certain things. There is a mark, there is a boundary, there is a stand that we can take as it relates to that. We also need to understand along that realm that we must stand up for ourselves. And while we must be kind to others, there is a time when we have to be able to discern when others are trying to pull us under and put us behind a door or serve us on their platter. So we must know where we're at. The third thing I need us to remember, or the fourth thing rather, I need us to remember is that our mental health, our emotional wellness, and our peace of mind, always important, must take precedence, must be in a good place. So that is why we've got to choose our battles wisely. We have to know what to leave alone and what to take up. In previous posts on my page, I would have talked about the heaps and the heaps and the heaps. We have to know which heap that needs to be discarded, which one needs to be repurposed, and which ones may come in handy for another occasion. We have to take care of ourselves. We cannot allow others to drag us under. And so along that line, we've got to know our triggers and we also have to know our insulators, those things that put us in a warm, the fuzzy spot. The other thing I want to impart is that we must guard for goals, the goals that we hold deep down inside us, the things that we always wanted to do. And of course, I am talking about the legal things, the things that are not outside of the law, the things that are going to uplift us, the dreams and the desires. The aspirations that we hold, we must go hard. And sometimes things may get a little difficult. That's expected. But we must go hard for our goals. We cannot allow ourselves to become victims and allow ourselves to be downtrodden. As far as our goals are concerned, we've got to press and, of course, we've got to push. I want us to remember that higher learning, technical learning, also important. Let us acquire a skill or move on higher so as to allow ourselves to be marketable, to make ourselves, our standard of living, a much better one. And of course, remember as well, we've got to be humble. We've got to be humble. Arrogance and supercilious behaviors always have a way of turning around, biting us hard when we fall from that pillar of pride. The fall is going to be long, it will be harsh, and the effects will be hard. Let's be humble. We've got to believe in ourselves, of course. That sense of self worth has to be there, but we cannot be proud and think we're better than the other. There's something I often say when we go to the toilet and we sit down there is some brown stuff that comes out of us. All of us have to let off that brown stuff. When we expire and are placed in the ground, after a while, the worms will get to the flesh. We will be in the dirt. We aren't better than anyone else. We also have to remember to be respectful. And the thing that we call dignity has to be respected. I've talked extensively on human dignity. And human dignity is something that should be afforded to all of mankind. Have some dignity for yourself as well as others. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a Thanksgiving day. It's a day of laughter and favor. And certainly, it's a day that I am proud to celebrate the day that my mother, Miss Veronique, gave birth to me some 61 years ago. I am proud to celebrate, and I feel as young as ever because I have been entitled with lateral favor, the grace of God that He has bestowed upon my life. Join me in the garden for some other tidbits, even if my birthday is today. We have the other parts of June in which we can engage in other topics. Remember, you can stay in the garden because you will never be disappointed.